And we're on. Hey, how you doing on a frigid Thursday evening in Cincinnati, Ohio? Hope you're doing well. Listen, if you're sick or ill or struggling with anything in your life that isn't moving smoothly, we're going to talk about it tonight. We're going to talk about the ego. We're going to talk about gratitude and how it's combining to make you sick and how you can take control. All right? I'll see you in a moment. Our whole practice is based on getting you to be the best version of yourself.
Remove the crappy
Everything
foods.
we do is based in the medical literature. We're going to look at how to get you healthy, not how to get you on medicines, how to get you off medicines. How you doing, guys? What are we doing here? It's Thursday, 8 p.m. It is freezing outside. I should be home petting my dog, talking to my wife, but I'm here talking to you because it's important. I wanted to share that with you, a little bit about our why. Why are we here? Why does HPM exist? Huber Personalized Medicine. If you're new to us, we're an integrative medical practice. If you're new to me, hello. My background is in emergency medicine. Spent 20 years in an ER. And it goes a lot to my why we do what we do, why we're even here tonight, and why this is important to me. And it is important to me. You're important to me. So, as an ER doc, you see a lot of heart attacks. That's what you do. It's a big part of what you do, right? And Bill would come in, and Bill has chest pain, and he's having a heart attack, and we would jump into action and do our fancy stuff and, give him TPA, get him to the ICU. Ha-ha, we saved his life. We stopped his heart attack. And then Bill would leave the hospital, and he'd be back a year and a half later with the second heart attack. It really got me to thinking, as emergency medicine goes, that's awesome. We're helping people. But are we really changing their life? Are we really stopping Bill from having another heart attack? The truth is, when you've had a heart attack, your average life expectancy is about 5 years, 10 months. Not very exciting, right? So the idea of integrative medicine is, how do we stop the forces that led Bill to have his heart attack? How do we do that? Well, that got me out of the ER and into this chair talking to you through the lens of integrative medicine. That's what we do. We really look at lifestyle habits. So that's why this is so critical to me. We just did our mind-body mission in January. It was awesome. 6 hours of content, and you can have access to that. I want to give you a snippet of what that's about, because what's in there goes directly to Bill's heart attack. Look at Bill's MI. He had a heart attack. Why? Well, because he was a busy guy, and he's a busy executive, and maybe put on a little weight. But it was his lifestyle habits, not his cholesterol. It's what he did to his cholesterol, right? So was he sleeping? Was he stressed? Was he eating? Was he going to the gym? Or like you, was he saying, oh my gosh, my life is out of control. I'm just trying to keep up. I'm just trying to stay with it. I'm just trying to get through the day. And you put off doing what you know you're supposed to do. And the combination of that thing over time leads to corrosion of the blood vessels. Voila, heart attack. So tonight is all about reversing sickness or stopping sickness and stopping heart attacks through this. What you think and what you believe. We're going to talk about the ego and gratitude. And you're going, what the hell does that have to do with a heart attack? It has everything to do with a heart attack, right? I'm going to give you a great example, because when we talk about ego, a lot of confusion there. People think, oh, that you mean egotistical. No, we all have an ego. I'm going to give you the perfect example. I was thinking about this earlier today. So I have a lovely daughter who is the apple of my eye, as most fathers would say about their daughters, but she's truly awesome. And she was going to a friend's house. She goes, Dad, I'm going over to my friend's house. We're going to watch The Bachelor tonight's the first night. Now, if you're not familiar with this show, it's an abomination, right? But it is a shining example. So my wife and I are like, we've got to watch this. My daughter's off watching it with her friend. We've got to see what this is about. And so you take a bachelor, handsome guy, you put him in a house with 20 or 30 women, and they're all fighting for his attention. And he's going to allegedly pick one of these beauties out as his bride, right, at the end of the show. And it's interesting. If you're familiar with the show, you know what I'm talking about. And if you're not, you should watch it for about 10 minutes. That's really all you need to understand the entirety of the show. Because everything about that is the ego, right? You got 20 or 30 women all trying to get in front of him to show who they are. Look at my hair, look at my clothes, look at my personality. Pushing this girl out of the way, pushing that girl out of the way, and forcing themselves. Imagine, all right, guys, let's reverse that. Imagine there's the Bachelorette show, and there's one girl, and there's 25 guys in a house. And what are you doing? You're sizing up everybody. He's too fat, he's too tall, he's black, he's white, he's rich. I heard he has a Maserati. Am I good enough? And you're doing what? You're comparing yourself to everybody and everything, right? And that's what the ego is. The ego is never happy. The ego is miserable because it's always checking to see, do I measure up? Am I superior or inferior to everything around me? It loves to grade and judge and complain and whine. And if you don't see complaining and whining, go watch The Bachelor. Loaded with complaining and whining. But that is what the ego is. The ego is always chasing after something at once or running from something it's afraid of. It's never in the present moment. It's never happy. And if you're unhappy and stressed, I guarantee you, if you go look at your ego, you're going to find out exactly why you're unhappy and stressed, right? It's ego that says we have to make more money so I can buy that fancier car so that I can look better than Judy at the grocery store, right, when I pull in with my fancy car. That's the nature of the ego. We're going to flip that show, The Bachelor, with a different TV show you're all familiar with, Friends. You ever watch Friends, right? You know, Chandler and Phoebe and the whole gang, Joey, right? Think about the context of that show because you've all seen it. It's all about people coming together. What cars do they drive? That's not the issue. What clothes do they wear? That's not the issue. It's all about interpersonal relationships. It's all about people coming together and making each other's lives better and being compassionate and being grateful for their friends, right? Every episode ends with, oh, I'm so glad I have you guys. Isn't that really what it's about? Think about the coffee shop. They're sitting at Central Perk, and in walks Phoebe and Joey, and Chandler was sitting there. And every time another cast member comes together, you've got the addition, right? You've got a combining of energy. What is the ego? The ego is always dividing, always separating, always comparing, making division. Think about our government right now, right? Republican and Democrat, build the wall or don't build the wall. It's division, division, it's ego, it's ego. And Friends is the opposite of that. And that's why we love the show. It made us feel good. And that's why when you really get in touch with gratitude in your life and you think about the things that make you feel good, it's love and commitment and community and coming together with people you love and coming together with those around you. That's what really drives your happiness. And we talk about that in the Mind Body Mission because this is a critical point. I'm just giving you a small snippet of it tonight. I don't want to give you everything that's there. But it makes a difference because when you're in great relationships and when you're happy, you don't go home and eat a quart of ice cream and drink bourbon and stay up late, right? You do more responsible things. You make better decisions. You take care of yourself. And when you get better sleep, you're not as stressed. You make better decisions that next day. So this is directly point on with why Bill had his heart attack and why if you want to avoid yours, you need to take inventory of these things. You need to take inventory of where your ego is and are you really experiencing gratitude. One other point I wanted to make. You have friends, and then you have really close friends, and you have friends that aren't so close. Pay attention. Do one thing. Notice when you're with one of your friends. Do they make you happy? Do they bring you up, or do they make you self-conscious, right? I have two friends. Well, I have a really good friend and I have an acquaintance that I both call friends. But the one guy, when I'm with him, every time I'm with him, it's not about what do you have, where have you been, you know what I mean? It's not about those definitions. It's just about sharing time, and he always makes me feel good about myself. He makes me laugh, and we have a great time. There's a bringing together, right? If you have other friends and they make you feel inferior or they make you question, are you good enough? You ever have those feelings when you're with one of your friends? The conversation or what they're asking you is driving you in that direction. He's looking for division. He's looking for black and white. He's looking for how you're different from him. That's not what real friends do. And in your life, if you can learn to find those situations where you bring things together, you are going to find happiness. If you go to a job and you say, well, my job is the biggest part of my stress. I don't like my job for this reason or that. It's typically because you feel separated, or you feel like you have to prove yourself, or you have to step up, or you have to delineate your value compared to your coworkers so that you can get that promotion or that job, right? But when you go to work and you can find areas where you can bring people together and be a uniting force, it's a big difference. So again, I don't want to belabor this point, but it's an important one because most times when people come into my office and they sit in that chair and they tell me what's wrong with them and they talk about their diabetes and their hypertension, and all that goes back to lifestyle. And their lifestyle is being driven by, I don't have time, I feel stressed. I'm overcommitted. I eat the wrong things. I don't have time to exercise. I don't have time to meditate. I don't have time to do these things. And it's because of stress. And what drives stress in our lives? Classically, ego. Okay? If you captured that tonight, that was my biggest point. Identify your ego. You know what you need to do to make your ego smaller and less impactful, less destructive to your life? Simply see it. When you find yourself angry with somebody, when you find yourself whining or complaining, that's your ego. Just recognize it and go, oh, it's kind of ugly. I don't want that. When you find yourself finding division, why is she wrong and he's right and she's this and he's that? As soon as you start putting labels on everything around you, that's your ego. In the mind-body mission, we talk about how to identify it, how to control it, and how to make the ego shrink and go away. Because when the ego is not there and you're comfortable and you feel light and you feel like everybody in the room and everybody in the community and everybody in the world is your friend, and you have love for them and you create unity in a combined effort, your life becomes light and airy and enjoyable, right? And things aren't as stressful as we make them out to be. So, if you've got a story of ego, tell it to me right now. Email or text Chris and tell him your story, all right? I want to hear it. What have you noticed about yourself when your ego flares? What have you noticed when you're on the highway and somebody cuts you off, and do you get upset or do you let it go? He's just late for a meeting, right? Do you take it personal? Is everybody out to get you? Is that girl in the cubicle next to you at work trying to make your life miserable? She's not. You're making yourself miserable. And when we look at other people and say they're out to get me or they're stepping on me or they're assaulting me, it's your ego making you uncomfortable. And you know how to satisfy it? Go home and eat a quart of ice cream, eat a sleeve of cookies, and stay up late and drink alcohol, because that's what we do, right? And then you get sick and you end up talking to me about how can you reverse your diabetes. So I hope my ramble tonight makes some lucid sense to you. I hope it serves you. And if nothing else, if I inspired some curiosity within you to explore, our mind-body mission is just that. It's 6 hours of content with this book, and it'll walk you through many different components of how does your brain work? How do you make decisions? And why do you make the decisions you make? Because if you can teach yourself to identify ego and make better decisions, your life improves. Not just your health, but in all ways. Again, this is my why. This is why I get up in the morning. This is why I stay late at night and do these kind of videos. Because I want to educate you. I want to educate my community on how to take care of yourself and how to stop beating ourselves up. Most of the things that cause us pain in our life, we're the engineers of, all right? So, hope this was helpful. It's cold, so I'm going to bid you adieu unless Chris has any questions from people watching.
So, ego versus gratitude. How do we get in the proper mindset for gratitude? You know, how should we start?
Great question. How do we get in the proper mindset for gratitude? It's a habit. It's like anything you've ever done that was rewarding. It took time, took a little bit of energy. Here's my biggest recommendation. If you're not used to, everybody's heard of Oprah Winfrey and you should have a gratitude journal, and everybody going, yeah, I know. But the reality of it is, why do we talk about gratitude? Because it is impossible. I challenge you. Think right now of two things, just two things today that you're grateful for and why. Who they were. Maybe it was your wife, she cooked you a nice dinner, or she gave you a back rub. Maybe it was your husband, he came home and hugged you and told you how beautiful you were. Maybe it was your kids. It could have been the barista that served you an extra good cup of coffee and was just happy. But think about something you're grateful for right now. All right, anything. The fact that there's nobody dropping bombs in your backyard, I'm grateful for that. The fact that I don't have to walk out my front door and worry if a sniper is going to knock me off, right? There are people in this world that worry about that stuff. What are you grateful for? It doesn't have to be grandiose, it can be very simple. In the moment of feeling that gratitude, it is impossible to be angry or judgmental or harsh. It's impossible. You're in the present moment and you're feeling that warmth, that glow of gratitude. That's happiness. In the conference, we talk about people that know how to generate their own internal happiness. They're much successful in all areas of life. We think success, when I get successful, I'll be happy. No, you won't. No, you won't. The studies bear out the other. When people generate happiness and learn how to be happy, success finds them in abundance. So rather than trying to be successful so you can someday retire and someday be happy, work on your happiness now. So here's a little challenge. Every morning before the foot touches the ground, as you wake up, I want you to spend 30 seconds to 2 minutes thinking, what am I grateful for? Name 3 things I'm grateful for. And don't just say, oh, my dog and my kids and my wife. 3 things you're grateful for and why. Feel it. You've got to feel it. And then once you've done that for 2 minutes, get out of bed. I guarantee you, your brain's working at a whole nother level. You're going to look at things differently, right? So learning how to generate your own gratitude is huge for happiness and success.
So where are you? Where can we find you? What else do you do?
I am right here. So my office, Huber Personalized Medicine, is in Montgomery. We're an integrative practice, and we reverse diseases. We want to take you off your medications. We want to get you healthier. We want to increase your energy, improve your sleep, deal with any endocrine issues, hormone issues, thyroid issues. We are the master at that because we understand the reason that it's off. If you want to reach out to us, we would love to meet you. Our office number is area code 513-924-5300. My dietitian, Chelsea, is an integrative practitioner. She is a corporate health manager. She is the bomb. She's awesome. And so maybe you just want to look at your lifestyle and begin to change your diet and figure out all the little things within your life that could increase your energy and your productivity and your sleep. Chelsea could work with you in our Virtuoso program. Our Virtuoso program is a 6-month program where you're meeting with her on a weekly basis to take everything you know and filter out the garbage and install good information like this so that you can function at a much higher level. Or I can see, we do hormones, thyroid, all the endocrine issues. We work with energy and sleep. I work with diabetics and hypertensives. And again, our goal is to identify why you need to be on that medicine and reverse that process so you can come off your medicine and increase the quality of your life. That's essentially what we do.
I hear you saying it, but do you know of any success stories?
Success stories.
Real world, someone that has come to you and said,
Yeah.
yes, this has worked for us.
Well, it's amazing. If you go on our website, we got tons of success stories. And you know, it's the classic, oh my gosh, my life was a wreck and you turned it, you're awesome. I always get suspicious when I read those things. It's funny because when you talk about success stories, I have a friend who does integrative medicine, and we talk, and we said, you know what, the beauty of our practice, when you're in traditional medicine, we talk about hitting a home run, doing something so amazing. How often do you hit a home run? Not very often. In integrative medicine, we hit a home run every week, meaning I see people, I have had diabetics, we do a corporate health engagement, and it's classic that if we walk in and we meet a guy who's on insulin, he's type 2 diabetic, almost guarantee that if he does what we're recommending we do, he'll be off his insulin in 6 weeks. That's crazy. Off his insulin. And then we work to reduce the oral medications. We have patients that spend $800, $900, $1,000 a month in real money on real drugs, and when we reverse their issues, their drug costs get cut in half or less because they're coming off these expensive medications. Look, I'm a traditional physician. I know the value of drugs. I prescribe drugs when they're indicated. But drugs are only placeholders for people that have really lousy habits. When you begin to change the very reason you needed that drug in the first place, when you begin to lose weight, you begin to change your inflammatory nature, the need for that drug disappears. So, Chris, there's so many success stories in so many ways. We see guys come in all the time, hey, you know, they're mid-50s, they got a little paunch on them, their cholesterol's high, erectile dysfunction isn't, great. And when we begin to reverse their physiology, sexual health is important. We feel very strongly that your hormones dictate dramatically what's going to happen to your heart and your brain and your love life. So we look at hormonal treatments, sometimes hormone pellets, and we do things to turn that 55-year-old guy backwards in time in terms of his physiology. So go look at our website, tons and tons of people that have changed their life.
On that note, February's coming up.
February is Love Month. You remember the Love Boat? I think Chris is too young for the Love Boat. The Love Month. So we're really excited because February 14th, right? Valentine's Day. So February is always Love Month in our office. And we love you. We want to make sure that you're fit and you're strong and you're sexy and that you're happy. Nothing's sexier than a smile and feeling good, right? But we do a Gainsway procedure. So for guys that have erectile dysfunction, look, it's way more common than you think, all right? So if you've got diabetes and hypertension, if you've got extra belly fat, if you're over the age of 40, then there's a better than 50% odd that you have some erectile dysfunction. It doesn't mean you have no erectile capacity, but it means it's greatly diminished. On a scale of 1 to 10, 10 being awesome, you may feel like a 5. Gainsway procedure, this month we're running a special $900 value off our normal Gainswave package, which includes 6 Gainswave treatments. That's a non-invasive procedure. We have videos on this topic. A non-invasive procedure to improve your vascular flow so that you naturally have good erectile function. It doesn't require that little blue pill or that expensive auxiliary effort, right? This is restoring your natural blood flow. We will look at your testosterone and your hormone, and we will make sure that we get things working really, really well. Because your relationship with your spouse is key. It is. It's important. Studies have shown when guys have good, powerful relationships with their spouse, they have far less heart disease. There's actually some good calorie burning that happens in the bedroom. So we're big fans of that just from a health perspective. Guys with good arousal response have better relationships and a better quality of life. And that's what we're all about, quality of life. So yes, if you're interested, call our office. If your husband should be interested and he's not calling, women, do it for him. Call our office, area code 513-924-5300, and say, Dr. Huber said you are running a special in February for Love Month, and we'll get you connected. All right? We're going to take care of you. Chris, anything else?
That's it.
We're good? All right, man. Hey, I'm going to go embrace the lovely coolness that is tonight. I'm not going to do a cold exposure like you may have seen me do. Thanks for joining me tonight. Great to have you on board, and I hope this was helpful. And if you're interested, come to our Mind Body Mission, all right? 6 hours of content. It could change your life. Love you. Take care. February's coming up, Valentine's Day. Cupid had his arrow, and you got yours. Is it working? Come see us if it's not. Let's get you in peak physical condition. You know what I'm talking about.